Hello, Narnach here. Welcome to the June channel update. It's been just over a month since the last one. That was on the 15th of April, and a lot of content has been released on the channel since then. Almost 100 videos to be precise. So, last time I had 618 videos. We are now up at 722 videos according to what YouTube is telling me. We went up from 100,000 views to 115,000, and in terms of subscribers we went from 208 to 235. So that's just under one new subscriber every day. So that's a bit of a slow growth, but then again, it was a busy month, but it was also a slow month, so to say. Of course, my main game is Path of Exile, and Path of Exile goes through a bit of a wave motion. Every 3 months there's a major new release, and that's when the Path of Exile hype is at its top. And as a result, that's when most of the people are looking for Path of Exile content, and when most new people find my channel for the new series I start for the new update or expansion or whatever they do. And after about a month, interest in Path of Exile starts to wear off a little bit, because some people just don't have the attention span to play much more than a month of content, or watch much more than a month of content. So over time, the Path of Exile viewers, they fall off, and then once the next expansion comes out, they are back for more. And that just follows the natural interest in the game, and also just the players in the game, is if my understanding of the community is accurate. So this was a slow month in terms of Path of Exile, but I still did a lot. Let's see, when we had our last proper update, we were still doing the Path of Exile Juggernaut, which then a week later I killed by just pushing into high-end maps too fast. And up to that point, the Juggernaut was nearly immortal, so that was kind of interesting. So then I started the Ringleader. I built using the Facebreaker's gloves to actually play a unarmed melee build that used Dominating Blow to convert monsters to my side. And it was actually a really fun build. But I managed to kill him as well. Oh, actually I didn't. I did not manage to kill him. I actually, Path of Exile started a 2-week flashback event, and that's where I started playing the Dominatrix, which was basically the Ringleader, which is a duelist that uses Facebreakers and focuses heavily on blocking. The Dominatrix is a witch, a melee punching witch that uses Dominating Blow to convert more minions to her side. And in addition to that, she's also a summoner, so there's an army of zombies about, there's specters, and there are also dominated minions. So I have a lot of fun, especially with the Flashback Leagues that I was playing for the Dominatrix. That's a lot of fun. And if we peek a bit ahead to the future, I have recorded quite a bit of videos already ahead of time, because I think I recorded 10 videos in the final weekend of the Flashback League. So that was pretty good. So there's a lot of flashback content still in the pipeline, and I do plan in the week and a half that is still remaining of the Horrendous League, I do plan to record a bit more content. I'm not quite sure, this is just tentative in terms of numbers, but I think maybe 10 episodes is probably doable. So there's going to be a lot of Path of Exile content, and the future content we will get to. So let's scroll back to where we were. So I made a second video at the start of May to just inject a little bit of an update that was not much about the channel itself, but more about the games that were in the pipeline, because May was a very busy month. I realized a bit too late just how busy the month was going to be. So at the time I made the video, I was already playing Offworld Trading Company in the final beta. I was actually planning to do a campaign that I started just a couple of days before the launch using the latest beta version, and then because most games okay, let's recap. So most games, when they release, the final early access version just becomes the launch version, because early access is part of beta testing and you really want to have all your content tested. They might add a small thing or two, but most of the time if you have a safe game in early access, it's just gonna carry over to the launch version. Offworld Trading Company did not do that. They actually changed quite a bit about the game. The campaign, for example, used to be 8 days and they shortened it to 7 days, changed the structure a little bit. They actually gave the interface a very nice polish to make it even better than it already looked in early access. But as a result, I could not continue my save game that I had been playing 4 games on before release. So I started a new campaign on launch day, or basically on launch night, and it just aired a couple hours into the next day, and I played that campaign. So as the May plans, as I was talking about them, this campaign was going on the way. I had just wrapped up the Juggernaut series and I had started the Ringleader series, and I was busy wrapping up my final bits of Grim Dawn. So a lot of my regular series were winding down. I had started up a new Path of Exile because there will always be a Path of Exile on my channel, at least for the foreseeable future. I had received a review key for Glitchspace, which I had already bought as an early access game a couple of months ago actually, but just didn't got around to playing it yet. And the review key was a very good reason to just have an actual look at it, because it was coming out of early access. And the review key allowed me to play to the press build, which is basically the launcher candidate, basically a week ahead of time. So that was very useful. And it was a lot of fun, and the video actually got some good views, some good appreciation, and I hoped it helped shine a light on the game and just give it a bit more exposure for the devs. So that was that. In addition to that, basically at the same time as Glitchspace, the weekend over here that I was planning to record Glitchspace in is also when Overwatch had its open beta. So that was a very, very interesting collision. I was originally planning to record Glitchspace in the weekend actually, but there was a bug in a couple of levels where if you fell down, you kept falling forever and you had to reset the level, which was rather annoying. So when I emailed the devs about it, they were like, yeah, this is not supposed to be a game that is that hardcore. You actually found a bug. So they fixed it, but I don't think they got the fix out until Monday. So I could not pre-record things for the weekend. So Tuesday I played, or Monday, Tuesday or something like that, I played Overwatch and I played some Glitchspace and I did some recording, and I did a lot of stuff in addition to just the RimWorld series that was already going on the way, the Path of Exile extra content I was recording, and there was some Overwatch. So it was nice and busy that time period. Then I actually had a very long weekend here. I think I had a 4-day weekend. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Due to I think there was a Christian holiday or something on Thursday, and just took the day off on Friday. So I had a 4-day weekend, which was very nice and relaxing. And it also allowed me to just pre-record some content. So I pre-recorded a bunch of RimWorld. I think I did some Path of Exile, not quite sure. And maybe some of the new Dominatrix series, because that started on Sunday, which was a lot of fun. And that was all in anticipation of Stellaris being released. So I needed to build up a little bit of content because I've been looking forward to Stellaris for quite a while. And in the week or so leading up to Stellaris, a couple of streamers or YouTubers got access to the game for just some pre-release hype. So I watched, I think, all the videos that Quillatine and Arumba put out during this time frame. So that was a lot of Stellaris that I was watching. And then once the game came out, I actually started playing it. Just my usual games that I'm hyped for release schedule. So that was 4 episodes on the first day, 4 episodes on the second day. And after that, just 1 episode per day. And this way, basically, if people are just as hyped as I am, they can watch a lot of videos during the first day. And I know that most people, they don't watch more than 1 video per day. So I had a very big buffer here for people who are just casually watching the game. But if you want to binge watch it, there's a lot of content during a launch. And after that, no, it's just 1 a day because I was still playing. I'm very hyped. Usually after about a week, I look back on a new series and see how it did, so how people are watching it, how many people have watched the first videos, what the decay is over time, so to say, how many people stop watching, and how many people I've actually watched like the last 2 or 3 videos, to see if people are just slowly watching through the series. There might be like a wave of people that will just slowly crunch through everything, and the people who are always looking for more content and who would wish I would put out like 10 videos a day, they are the ones that always just watch the videos whenever I put them out. So it's good to see the difference there. So far, Stellaris it's not the most wildly popular video on the channel. Actually, I try to keep track of roughly how popular my series are. Path of Exile is by far the most popular content. It's somewhere between 40 and 60 views after about a week, and over time it slowly ramps up, and at the beginning of a season or of a series, there's usually the first couple of videos get hundreds of views or thousands of views if it's a really popular series. But over time it just decays, and once I'm at episode 20, there's going to be 50 or 60 people remaining. Juggernaut actually had 70, it was a bit more popular. Grim Dawn is a very good second game in that regard. It's like 40, 50 views. So there's a lot of people that are subscribed to my channel that are just here for the action RPGs. And it's the main genre I have on the channel, so that actually makes sense. Other games are not as much viewed. Duskers 25 is still pretty good for my channel, actually. It's still pretty good. Now, it did half as much as the action RPGs, but it's still a very fun game to play, and I really enjoy playing Duskers. It's a very visceral, emotional experience, combined with logical thinking and just applying some strategy to it. So it really pushes all my buttons, and the fact that there's like 25 people actively following the series in past series. For this current iteration for season 3, currently there's about 50 people, but it's still early in the series, so this number is just indicative. But that also means the more people watch a series, the more motivated I am to continue with it, and the more episodes I will try to release, and the more frequent I try to release them. Stellaris and also RimWorld, they are not as popular. RimWorld is even less popular than Stellaris. So together they kind of are as popular as a Duskers would be. So as a result, in terms of time slotting and priorities, I try to organize things a little bit. So that basically, if I have limited time and I can't record episodes for all the series, I just go through it from most popular to least popular. So there, as I already joked before, there will always be a Path of Exile. because it's my favorite game right now, and it's the most popular game on the channel. And as a result, every day has a Path of Exile. All other games I try to combine in a second and or third video every day. So Grim Dawn, once I start my series, is just gonna be on a every other day type of situation, and because the weekend over here is gonna be the Path of Exile release weekend, I'm not actually planning on any other games being released then, except for just the Dominatrix videos continuing. But besides that, Grim Dawn is just going to be every other day. And yes, this is 6 videos. I'm experimenting with seeing if I can actually get 6 videos out on every day of the weekend, and after that just doing 1 video per day. Just seeing how that works. I mean, by episode 12, I'm usually pretty far into Act 3. So you actually get to see a lot of the new content, and especially because I'm aiming to play a Frost Shadow. So this is gonna be like my Chaos Shadow, but using the elemental affinity of the Shadow rather than the Chaos affinity. So there's gonna be some interesting twists on a build I did a couple of leagues ago. And Frostbolt's going to be a level 1 skill, and Vortex, the other Frost skill that gets added in the Prophecy League, is a level 28 skill. So I really want to get to level 28 as soon as possible. And I hope to achieve it all within the weekend. So that's why I'm just experimenting to see if I can actually manage 6 releases. Also that means I'll actually do 7 videos on those days rather than just 6. Because I also have the Dominatrix videos. Because I'm just pre-recording this. Because the Horrendous League that the Dominatrix currently is in will end somewhere between... probably just on the day itself. I'm not actually quite sure why I have it here. So this is just going to be just a regular PoE. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as I said, this is my my master spreadsheet for just planning things, and as a result, I might update a thing or 2. So, Grim Dawn, second most popular series in terms of just people following the series. I have been waiting for the next big update that will introduce the hidden path content for a while now. That is still what I'm waiting for. There is another Grim Misadventure, as they call their, I think it's their bi-weekly blog series with announcements and things like that. They have been hinting and teasing about the Hidden Path release for a while now, and they've been building up to it, showing some material and things like that. So if they follow previous patterns, then we'll get a Grim Misadventure on Monday, and we will very likely get the game's actual release on Tuesday. Or the update, the actual update on Tuesday, if it actually is released. It might be that the content is not ready, that they push it forward. In that case, I'll have to adjust my schedule a bit, because then there's not going to be any Grim Dawn, and that means I'll have more time, so I'll probably have Duskers every other day rather than every 3 days, and I'll fiddle a bit with how Stellaris and RimWorld are going to be. But for now, I'm assuming there's going to be a new Grim Dawn series, and it's going to be every other day. So Duskers, it started as a new series every day, then every other day. And now it's going to be every 3 days along with Stellaris and RimWorld. And it's just going to be they just follow each other. And the pattern is basically going to repeat for as long as I have this many active series going on. Because 2.5 videos per day, which is what you get if you average the 2 and 3 videos that I cycle, that is really pushing my limits. So I'll see how it goes, and especially with games like RimWorld and Stellaris are getting less well received in terms of popularity. I'm okay with just shifting them down a little bit in priority. Now, people that want to watch it, they'll still watch it. And yeah, this way I preserve my sanity. So, were there any other releases? Let's see, did we talk about everything yet? So, Path of Exile. I'm really hyped for the Prophecy League, actually. That's gonna be released on the 3rd of June. It's gonna be another Friday night release, so I'll have my theory crafting build ready. The day itself, maybe a day earlier, depends a bit on when the skill tree planner is going to be updated and when we actually get more information about the ascendancy class changes. But from the sound of it, the skill tree itself is actually not going to change all that much. I listened to the State of Exile podcast with Chris Wilson yesterday. And he said, well, the skill tree is not really going to change. There's maybe one keystone that's going to move, but for the rest, they're pretty happy with the skill tree as it is right now. And they're going to focus all their attention on just balancing the ascendancy the ascendancy classes a bit more. And as the Frost Mage is not really going to be depending on the skills from the ascendancy class, there's not really going to be too much of an impact there. So I'll have my theory crafting build ready by then, and after that we just storm into the actual Prophecy League. So I'm done. I'm gonna start it. Duskers, still having fun, and I really am just curious to see where it goes. If I manage to complete the game without losing all my drones and actually sort of kind of resolving the story. That's the thing that still eluded me, especially the story elements were added pretty late into the development of the game, so there's only bits and pieces. So I hope that there's going to be something that resembles some form of closure of, hey, you're done now, rather than the game dragging on. Because I deal poorly with games that just drag on and on and on beyond my attention span. That is the reason why I stopped with the Fall of the Dungeon Guardians, for example, because I played 70 episodes and that was more than enough for me. Not as a knock on the game, it's just my attention span that is not that long for games. And yes, I'm still amazed how long my attention span is when it comes to Path of Exile. But that is a game that radically refreshes itself every 3 months, and that is something that really does help. Stellaris. So, interest from the community has been a bit on the low side. On the other hand, if people are a bit like me, they might also have completely splurged on Stellaris content and they are not watching as many videos anymore, or just taking it a bit easier and just actually seeing what the hell happened with all the other games and maybe catching up on some other series. And then just following like 1 or 2 Stellaris series. So I'll keep playing it. I'm having fun, and as I said, I'm really curious to see where they're going to go with post-launch patching, since they are working. The devs shared a bit of a rough timeline for patches and how they view things. Now at the end of May there's going to be a balance patch with some fixes and stuff, and at the end of June as well. And there's going to be a balance patch with also just interface enhancements and all the polish that you give the game after it's been released and exposed to the world, and people have let you know what happens, what they like, what they don't like, what frustrates them, and things like that. So if it's like any other Paradox game, the game will only get better and better and better over time. So, RimWorld Alpha 13. I enjoy the game. I enjoy playing the game. It's fun recording while I play. But there's not a lot of people that are actually watching it. And the fact that I have a series, for me, I feel like I have an obligation to play the series until it finishes or until I am completely done with the game. So in a situation like this where I will be juggling 5 active series at a time, not having a game like RimWorld would actually be pretty good. But since I started it, I want to finish it. So it's gonna go on. But in the future, I don't think I'll record more RimWorld series. Just because my channel currently does not attract enough people that enjoy watching the series. And as a result, it's better to focus my own energy on other things. But I'm still gonna finish it. Even if I might have to loosen up the schedule a little bit. Overwatch Trading Company, it was fun while it lasted, but because I'm already so busy, I'm not gonna go back in and do another campaign on a higher difficulty or do a skirmish or something like that. Also, if you increase the difficulty level in Overwatch Trading Company, it gets pretty mercilessly tough. It's a bit like Civilization in that regard. If you play on the easiest difficulty level, it's pretty doable. Once you start increasing the difficulty level, you really have to up your game. So yeah, that for now that was it. Glitchspace as well. I just did the one-off review / let's try / just promoting the game a little bit. That's gonna be it as well, just due to time constraints as well. Because this would be a nice game actually to just go through from beginning to end. And maybe at some point in the future I might, but you know, I'm looking at my schedule over here and that means there's no space for Glitchspace. That's really it. So let's see, Overwatch. I really enjoyed the open beta. It's gonna be launched on the 24th of May, so that's actually tomorrow, or technically in like 3 or 4 hours. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be playing that with friends during the rest of the week. It's also why I actually simplified my schedule a little bit to only have 2 videos every day rather than 2 or 3 videos every day, just to create a bit more space for Overwatch. It's actually why I've also marked this red, as in I'll be busy with Overwatch, also going to the movies actually. There's a whole bunch of movies that are in the cinema right now that I want to see. So the obvious ones, of course, the X-Men Apocalypse, Captain America, Civil War thing. I still have to see that one. And there's a bunch of others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but there will be movies. Then during the weekend I'll be recording more Path of Exile, just to batch up on the Dominatrix, see how much content I can create for that. Because at this point I have reached, let's see, I think the last episode I ended somewhere in Act 2 Cruel. So yes, I did make it that far. And it would be very nice if I can at least finish Cruel difficulty. So that's gonna be probably need most of this. So at least finish Cruel difficulty and then I'll see. My ending at Cruel might be a nice way to just have a natural stopping point. But yeah, it's once again it's gonna be I hope I actually just have a natural stopping point rather than dying earlier due to a unfortunate encounter, but we'll see. Let's see, and also there is in June 1st, Factorio 0.13 is, well, finally planned for release. So this is going to be a massive upgrade to the game. A lot of new content, a lot of polish, a lot of performance improvements as well, I think. So this is going to be well, the biggest upgrade to the game since 0.12, and since that one had 30 or 31 patches to it since it was released. It's actually been quite a while. I think we've been on 0.12 for over half a year now. So I'm very curious to see just how 0.13 plays, but again, with my already busy schedule, I'm not going to do a new series on it or do anything with it for the channel. In fact, I might not even have a chance to play it all that much. But, well, Factorio, the first couple of releases, the community is very good at finding bugs that the developers never anticipated. So waiting a couple of weeks or so before diving onto Factorio 0.13 might not be a bad idea. And we'll see. I mean, it's possible that I'll be done with Stellaris or RimWorld by this time. And as my schedule clears, so if I only have Path of Exile and Grim Dawn and Duskers going, I might pick up Factorio to do it alternatingly. With, like, for example, every day Grim Dawn, and then just juggle Duskers and Factorio every other day in between, or something like that. I don't know. There's no firm commitment on Factorio yet, but at some point I want to do a series on it, because it's been very long since I did a very short 3-episode series. It was one of the very first games I did. So Diablo, Factorio. Yeah, and then I stopped because I got bored with it at that point. Because it was, I think it was 0.10 or 0.9. And I had already been playing that specific patch for a couple of 100 hours. Because I've been playing Factorios for 3 years now. I was one of the original Indiegogo backers for the game. And I've been playing this game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. Yeah, as I said, I get bored easily with games, so I need to get some variety. And Factorio gets a lot of new things with every major patch, so that's what keeps it interesting. But yeah, so we'll see. June is going to be an interesting month, at least, with some with Path of Exile and Grim Dawn starting new series, and a lot of other stuff just continuing from where it is. And that's it, I think, for this month. No, wait, there's my schedule. Actually changed the times where I release videos. I used to release the Path of Exile videos at midnight European time. And all other series would be like at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., things like that. There was a very simple logistical reason for that. I often recorded early in the evening, did the upload to YouTube, and YouTube needs about 4, 5, 6 hours to actually crunch through the video, process it, get it up into HD. So I upload something and then I schedule it to start to get published at least 6 hours afterwards, just to give YouTube some time to actually process the video. And especially if I'm recording things last minute, then I'll play and record during the evening and schedule things to be released during the night, which worked okay, but it did really encourage me to get things to do things last minute, so to say, so that there's a bit of a rush and stress to it. So, and also the problem was it's very good scheduling for the Americas, for USA, Canada, and South America, because my midnight, European midnight, is between 3 and 6 in the afternoon over there. The thing is, I also have a fairly sizable European audience. And for them, it would always be during the midnight, which doesn't really work. So I shifted things to release 6 hours earlier. So Path of Exile is at 6. Then we got Duskers, Stellaris, RimWorld alternate at 7. And then Grim Dawn's going to be at 8. And for the American viewers, it's just going to be 6 to 9 hours earlier. So it's going to be between 9 and 12 in the morning now. So whenever those people get out of work or get out of school, there's going to be videos for them. Or if you're lucky enough to be able to watch videos while at work, then you can even watch the videos while at work. And for the Europeans, the releases are just going to be in the evening, so that's pretty perfect. And Australians, they always get the short end of every stick. And in this case, it's still the same. They the schedule already used to be mostly during their night, and now it's firmly during their night. So yeah, you can't always please everybody. And that really wraps up everything, doesn't it? Oh yeah, one more note is community comments. People have been leaving comments left and right on my videos. I really enjoy the feedback and the interesting discussions. And if people asking questions, I also enjoy answering the questions, because it's a good way for me to test my knowledge. And because they say that you don't understand something until you can actually properly explain it to someone. And if you can't explain it, you don't understand it. So the fact that I can answer questions and actually answer them means that I actually understand what I'm talking about, which is, it is good. It is good. So yeah, keep those comments coming. I've actually started using the names of people that leave nice or positive comments or ask questions, or people that are contributing to the comments on my channel being a good place, rather than the toxic cesspool that some other channels have in their comments. Now, if you're contributing to making the comments awesome, then actually adding your name to a list that is slowly growing. And currently the list sits at about 140 names, 150 names. And whenever I have the opportunity to use people's names in games, like for example in RimWorld, the names of the colonists, or in Stellaris, the names of the leaders of the civilization, or the science officers and the admirals, or in Duskers, the names of the drones, then I use random names of people on that list that I keep adding the names to of nice people. So that's my way of saying thanks to the community for just being awesome. And that really wraps it up. So I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me every day in the videos, but I'll be back again in about a month with another channel update. Thank you for watching / listening. Bye bye.